Meow, meow, meow.
It's meow time for KittenouSBeast gaming videos for cats and their people. KatzeLande Prime, episode 10. It's kind of an exciting episode for me. I didn't really know if I was going to keep doing this. Um, it's so easy to record these episodes and just, I don't know, document what I'm doing that I'm just going to just keep doing it. It's just kind of fun. So I'm excited. I kind of figured that this would be sort of a maybe only a few episode thing. At the very least, I'm going to get a long troll on my buddies because I'm going to do at some point like episode 15 and a half. That's going to be like a short walkthrough on something really specific. And then I'm going to go like maybe 25 episodes and then drop that clip in our watch together video stream, and they are going to be like, "What the hell? You've got like 25 hours of content." I'll be like, "Yeah, it was just so easy to do. I just couldn't help myself." Anyways, uh, we are doing pretty good in the base here. I'm really pleased that we've transitioned sort of into a mid-game state. Uh, obviously nothing's perfect in here. So if you have any comments or think something should have been done differently, I'd love to hear it. Obviously this is not a game that has one solution, and that's one of the things I love about it. So if you went a radically different direction and were able to like, I don't know, get things done faster than me, or you know, I'd love to see how you pulled it off. So leave a comment, share some screenshots. I'd love it. Uh, I think this game is absolutely fascinating, and that's why I'm doing these videos. So, all right, so let's talk about what the next steps are. So, we're in kind of a holding pattern with our power grid. We're kind of waiting for this natural gas geyser to go dormant so we can capture it. Um, we've been in a holding pattern on construction in this zone because of all these darn slime lung germs, and I'm starting to think that we might have won the battle. I'm not seeing any of the really dense pockets of germs anymore. They were up in the 20,000s to 30,000s. Those pockets are gone. So I think the germ counts are going to be pretty stable and start to decay faster. Again, just so you're aware, I think I kind of misjudged the mechanic. Ideally, you probably want to destroy these slime lung pockets as soon as possible if it's exposed, if it's in the air, because otherwise it'll just keep hanging in the air at some level. So I might actually correct that right now just to seal the deal on this part of the base. So we'll punch out these slime pockets. I don't really mind if polluted oxygen leaks over here now because I've got these deodorizers set up. It should totally help filter the gas. Not a big deal at all. I'll even put a airflow tile over here. That's the edge. Okay, so here. Alright. So we'll try and just knock out the last vestiges of this slime stuff so that we can move on with our lives with this zone. I really want to use this real estate badly, but we're just stuck because of the germs. And then let's talk about over here in this mud biome. So we discovered last time that there's two vents in here. And this is a wild card. Not sure what they're going to be. The sooner we find that out, the more quickly we can capitalize on a resource if we can use it. If we need to leave it capped like this aluminum volcano over here until we can deal with it properly, then we'll leave it capped. But it'd be nice to know what it is. It's a little bit of the mystery. And so we're going to try and get down into this zone. There's some good resources here. This polluted dirt is going to be very valuable for keeping the sublimator running. until I can get a more permanent oxygen solution set up. These are both based on having resources in your inventory to produce this oxygen ventilation system. So I need to keep those systems supplied, and this is a great resource for this particular system. That in mind, I'm actually going to go ahead and build storage for polluted dirt so that we can have it sort of stored in this area. I'm even going to perhaps even put a block here so that I don't know if I want to go that route. Yeah, I think a block would be fine. So I'll probably just do like a regular tile. Let's see, so this is 791. Spread across 4 tiles. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay. You can kind of see that the system has done its job. It's contained the carbon dioxide to this low state here, which is totally fine. That keeps it right in the correct range for those Dasha salt vines in case it's chlorine gas that hits this pocket. So if I were to encounter chlorine gas, I would feel comfortable about just drilling right into it and letting it leak down here where it'll get processed by these salt vines. Totally going to take care of the hazard for me. So I'll just help that along with a little bit of airflow, and won't breach some of these pockets here. We do have actually growing nosh sprouts, so it's worth protecting this biome. We can just keep those growing and harvesting them for free. But we can also make far more efficient man-made versions of these kinds of farms if we have a nice horizontal tile set. This biome in particular is kind of rough terrain, so I may not try and do that, but we'll preserve whatever nosh beans are still growing properly and discard the other ones. All right. You know, while we're at it, I might want to get that research for the insulated wall tiles started. We're going to start to try and insulate to preserve temperature gradients and also build industrial structures that can contain heat properly, so we need access to that insulated tile research. And here we have a sort of an interesting opportunity. We have this water that's being pumped into these carbon skimmers, but those don't run all the time, and they won't use all that water. So perhaps we should dump the rest of it over here. Only problem is that I don't really have a clear shot from this pipe access to this other pipe access because of the way these lines have been built. Whoops. Um, so I don't have a ton of choices here to fix this quite just yet. Just watch me work this out. So first we'll disable the pump. Now, now that that pump is disabled, we'll queue up maybe like 1 or 2 of these gold production operations. Alright, so we're draining that pipe out. Now that that pipe is drained, we can cut a hole in the line and bridge it with liquid bridges. So, I'm thinking about where would be a nice height. Can't really go on this axis here or this one. So let's go ahead and do the snipping. Let's just, yeah, that might be a good. Well, hmm. Yeah, let's just. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just try to make it work. Okay. Alright, so we'll put a bridge in there. Okay, and that should give us the kind of access we need. So we'll start by pulling a bridge off of this line. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a mess. So pop out that way. Yeah, we're not going to win any awards for prettiness on this. Alright, not my finest work, but it'll get the job done for now. Just so that we can continue to research as needed with high temperature water. And again, we'll just continue to add deodorizers down here until we've completely won this battle against this slime down here. Yeah, now would be a good time to perhaps put some kind of boundary wall to help with the air flow of this carbon dioxide, because it's kind of spreading out kind of far over here. So if I put a little bit of a wall in place here, that should help contain the carbon dioxide better and assist with processing it. Um, yeah, I'll have some loose carbon dioxide over here that I will eventually have to deal with, but it'll probably work out better if there's a little bit of a physical boundary. Alright, so we've unlocked that insulating tile research. Alright, so with this basic ventilation system set up, we can start to really expand out. Previously, we may have had concerns about keeping an area pressurized so that the workers could work without interruptions, having bad air or whatever. Well, with the ventilation system like the one that we have, we can push out pretty easily into other areas and keep those areas well pressurized. So, for instance, over here, I can quickly just pop a vent out here, automate that vent very easily with just a simple pressure sensor. No power is required to do this. So this is a very simple solution to the issues of managing oxygen. So we'll finish this little vent here, and we'll be able to start rapidly climbing. My main goal for climbing is to get some good exploration, access to more resources, etc. But also, uh, we need to get up to the top of the map as quickly as possible. Previously, in the original release, you needed to get to the top of the map to prevent biome damage, um, like There were meteor showers that were showering down. It's my understanding that those actually don't happen in the spaced out DLC campaign part of it. So actually there's really not much of a reason to get to the top of the map except for the fact that you're going to need it access to it to generate rad bolts. And we'll get into rad bolts in a little bit. So we'll push it up quickly as possible. Meanwhile, there's a nice opportunity over here to make a nice farm of some sort, or ranch, and that's our plan here. We're going to turn this into a ranch, and it's going to work quite well, actually. Uh, there's like the perfect amount of resources in here to sustain a, get the oxyfern, sustain a hip ranch. So what we'll do is we'll wall this off properly. Should probably run some power out that way. Look at that. We don't even have any electricity run this way. We've really just been focusing really a lot on this other side of the map. So that's kind of a funny thing to notice, is that we haven't really made a ton of progress towards changing the tiles out here. And we can do that now comfortably with the ventilation system we've developed. So let's throw a... Trying to figure out where that would be good. Maybe here with a couple of tiles. Get that oxyfern going. It's a great plant to have aboard. So alright. So we'll need to put in a couple of special buildings in here. So the first one we'll need is a grooming station. It's kind of nice to have that near the entrance. So I might even consider changing this a little bit so that I can have it closer to the entrance. We'll get rid of that mirth leaf. We also are going to need a critter drop-off station, so we'll put that in place. Trying to account for a little bit of gas management here. And we do want this to remain a carbon sink. Oh, we've got some available fungal spores for planting more food. That's really beneficial. We were kind of running it close there in terms of the food production. And I think we've successfully addressed the issue. It doesn't take very long to accommodate for the differences, but alright, got our fungal spores in place here. Alright, so now that we are going to be able to put a grooming station down here, this should become a ranch. I think the ranch minimum size is... there's the stable. 96 tiles. So we're under there by 3 tiles. Perfect. There's a natural carbon sink happening here, and there's a native oxyfern. Doesn't quite do the job as hard as a regular oxyfern, but it can at least handle some of that carbon dioxide. So, yeah, we can leave that alone, I think. Again, this shouldn't get an overflow of carbon dioxide because of the way that we've set up this mechanized door. Attempted to keep this pressurized. Okay, we should have a stable. Great! What we'll want to do next is get some pips in here, and pip squeaks if we see any of them. And we're going to make that a high priority task. We do have one duplicate with a critter ranching skill, and we have some spending. We can spend some points here while we're at it. Yeah, that might be fine. We'll get another rancher. Fabulous. Okay, we're not going to need hazmat digging for quite some time, I don't think. So I'll have this dupe get the supplying work. That's a good one. All right. All right. So now that we've got this little wall built, that should help deal with some of the carbon dioxide issues in terms of just keeping it concentrated here. I might even change out a few more of these tiles for airflow tiles just so it sinks properly. And I might even lower my deodorizer sets just so that it deals with some of this polluted oxygen as well. I might even put a few on ground level because the liquid isn't actually that high at the moment. So let's set that up. Because there's no point to doing that. Just plug them straight across. Great. Meanwhile, over here, we've got those deodorizers here. Maybe we need some over here and here. I don't know. Yeah. I can't put them one there because of the salt vine. So I think we'll just make do with the one. See if this can turn the situation around down here. And now let's plan our descent. So we need to have a better access to the work site to get this to work pretty well. So what I'll do is I'll actually snag a line of this oxygen and start to kind of pressurize this zone here so we can start to descend. And we're not worried about the insulation on these pipes. This is going to be pretty cool stuff because we're cooling it with that ethanol. So should not have to worry so much about the temperature of this gas. I'm going to go down so that they can build it a little bit more easily. Okay. And then we'll set a little bit of automation again. These fancy pressure sensors are so cool. I'm not sure when they automated the gas vents. The different vents can be turned on and off now, but that just is just a huge savings in terms of not having to put like an airflow valve and power it and all that extra piece of machinery. It just simplifies the process a lot, especially with these basic ventilation systems. More printables. Let's take a look. Slug eggs! Oh my gosh, what luck! I'm so excited about those slug eggs. This is going to be sweet. Unfortunately, nothing is going to convince me probably unless it's absolutely perfect. Just a quick look. None of these really look appealing. Um, Nothing really jumping out at me as something I need right away. So we'll go with the slug eggs. Nice. Alright, so with those slug eggs, we're going to actually be able to do a little bit of green energy here. Um, and I am starting to get a little bit excited about this part of the project. Um, I just need to find the right spot that has a little bit of iron ore left in it, and we can turn these slug eggs and whatever slugs we retrieve from this region down here into a source of free electricity. um, yeah, it'll be pretty nice. Yeah, there is one here. I like to have at least a few tiles of it. There's a couple tiles there. I don't know if there's two tiles there and a tile here. Maybe we could make that work. Um, Although we could very easily carve one out here. There's a load of gold right here. That'd be a shame to not mine it, but there's even three tiles here. That three tiles is pretty generous. So there's a bunch of tiles. So this would actually be a pretty good spot, I think, for this scheme I'm trying to concoct here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a ranch for those slugs and plug it directly into the generator side of my base, so that when they're doing this, they produce electricity. So they like put power back into your grid, so you can really make sort of like a basic farm with them, and I think that there's a lot of benefits to that. So I might actually attempt to pull off that project pretty soon. At least put it on the to-do list. Um, and I do think this is a pretty nice spot for it. So um, I'm going to maybe see if we can make that happen soon. And it all starts with this here, but again, we want access. So yeah, I might actually even adjust the height of those tiles. Yeah, it's unfortunate that my ventilation plan is ultimately interfering with my ladder construction, but no big deal. I'll just delete it and rebuild it. Yeah, now I can even have the vent be up higher because of the ladder. Oops. And put that pressure sensor in. Perfect. We should also perhaps consider insulating this biome a little bit. So we are going to be generating some heat, and these are plants we can just continue to harvest if we have access to them and they're able to survive in their environment. Then you can get those harvests for free, basically. So, like why wouldn't you want to preserve those environments when you can? So, just to keep my duplicates busy and to make sure that I am doing what needs to be done in terms of insulating this biome, put in that little wall there. Alright, so with us taking advantage of our ventilation system, we're now moving into a phase of digging. So let's update our goal and kind of reflect our new plan, which is essentially we're planning on digging into dig up and down. In this case, we're digging down into this swamp biome. In this other case, we've started to dig up. And again, we're going to keep attending to this. We want to push up as high as we possibly can, as quickly as we possibly can, so that we can get up into space and start harvesting rad bolts. Yeah, rad bolts. So you've probably noticed me fumble around with the research tree a bunch of times, so let's just talk about this real fast. So in original ONI, you you basically had the supercomputer and the research station pretty much for most of the research until you got to the space research. But in this new version, they've now added a third tier of research called material science research, and in order for you to make that work, you need to have rad bolts. Now where do rad bolts come from? So let's go ahead. I mean, we have our research basically set up to work with the right kind of water at this time. I could just go nuts researching everything I possibly could, up to these level 3 researches which require the rad bolts. So I can go ahead and hook myself up with solid transport, but let's get at those rad bolts, shall we? So to get to the rad bolts, where is that? It's going to be under colony development. Yeah, so here we go. Where is my... There it is. There's my rad bolts. So let's get them. And we can talk about it once the research finishes. Oh, look at that. There's some water up there. It's suspicious. We've got our cool steam vent, which is dormant. We'll need to act fast. We want to have any chance at saving the natural environment of this biome. We'll need to get up there and lock that thing down pretty quick. Alright, so here's the advantage of having this ventilation system prepared. We can continue to expand our ventilation pressures. Again, no worries about wire, as long as we have the capacity to automate it, which is what we're doing. So it's below 1500 is what we want. Okay. We've also put a vent over here, but this isn't quite finished yet. Oh, I never turned that pump back on. That's the problem. Okay, so let me make sure I finish this project. I forgot to reactivate this liquid pump for this polluted water. So our system down here has lost pressure, and we've lost coolant for the refinery, not a big deal. But we've lost water for our carbon skimmers, which is sort of a big deal, so... We can harvest some sand while we're climbing the mountain here. The majestic, cool steam vent. Oh boy. It's gonna be a pain to get up there. Let's check for germs. Yeah, no weird pockets of germs, but that's good news. But this polluted water is gonna be a pain. We're gonna have to do a few maneuvers here to make this work. Shouldn't be too bad. We'll have to build a tank or something over here for this water and evacuate these plants and this little pip. No big deal. In fact, let's go ahead and carve that into the plan right now. Alright. Got some more mushrooms available for planting. That's great. Let's keep going. So as of right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 duplicates covered once we put this next fungal spore in place. Bert's got a skill point here. I don't know if we need that one, and Bert's kind of getting up there with the morale. I think we'll work towards mechatronic with Bert. Bert's a boss! Ruby! Maybe we'll save this skill point, because we might want to use that for materials science research if we can get there. Alright, so I think we've almost got radiation figured out. What's that? Oh no, that's the notification systems. So we're still not there yet with this being finished. What is the deal with the alert? Below 1500. Okay. Alright, let's rescue this pip. He's gonna be flooded with water. We don't want him to get injured. And let's sweep that pip egg. Gotta be careful here, because I don't want my eggs to get swept up into the wrong places. And we'll drop that pip egg down here in a storage bin. And it's as easy as that. Oh, what happened? Oh, she got him all trussed up. So we'll move that pip where we want him to be. And this little chamber over here is where we want that pip to go. Fabulous. He's going to be so happy eating that food, and we're going to get him to be a happy boy. Even planted another arbor tree for us. Isn't that nice? Yeah, you can use these creatures to plant natural gardens. That's really actually super important. A lot of the reason why I've left most of this terrain untouched is so I can make a very, very large natural set of gardens that'll feed the base whatever it really needs. Um, that's going to be quite some ways off, but you know, honestly, with the ventilation system we have, I can easily fill as big of a space I need with cool air, so I might as well take advantage of that fact. Set up some pretty vast uh, farms on these long stretches of natural tiles. So it's going to be a good opportunity for me to cash in on that natural environment that we have set up. You know, just looking at this long stretch here, I mean, I could fit this stretch here could fit how many plants? 15 plants? 16 plants? So we can even carve into the granite and plant in those. So this is going to be a huge, big deal once we finally set that up. And it all starts with this pip range. So now that we've got that pip in there, and we're going to get that pip's egg too, it's going to work out just fine. All right. Oh, yeah, we're pumping the water into that reservoir instead of the carbon skimmers. It's one problem after another with these carbon skimmers down here. Still trying to figure out why this stuff isn't been built yet. Cool. Alright, let's talk about rad bolts. So, there's a new radiation overlay in the game with the radiation. Look at those. Shine bugs now produce radiation. Oh, that's cool. Can you harvest rad bolts from them? Yeah, sure. Um, I tried that with very comedic results, but so looking around, there's no other source of radiation. Rad bolts concentrate the surrounding radiation and produce a bolt once they charge up to 50. But there's no radiation anywhere else on the map. So where do you get the radiation from? Well, it's up in space. So that is the reason why we're tunneling upwards. We will never be able to do any third tier radiations research with any kind of efficiency unless we're up in space and can get that uh, natural high radiation from outer space. At least that's my conjecture thus far. Um, yeah. So, anyways, still overpressured. Still kind of bummed about this not being built yet. I don't think this is actually going to do very much, but it's worth a shot. Below 1500 might help with some of this gas-related trouble over here. Right, so we want to finish trying to climb up towards this dormant cool steam vent. So we'll need to carve out more of this and sort of form a natural reservoir for this liquid. It is hotter than the biome, so I'm going to try and keep the reservoir we build away from doing too much damage to the natural biome we have over here. So we're going to probably break the water there, so we'll build the tank like so. Yeah, we should be able to handle that. It should be doable for the duplicates, so hopefully nobody will get trapped. Put the priority on those ladders. They're making short work of it, I'll tell you. Oh jeez, that's really pressurized pockets of polluted oxygen. This could get really messy if I'm not well prepared for it, so... Another oxyfern seed, that's fabulous. It's like Ellie's stunned. Oh gosh. I wasn't real careful about checking the pressures. This must be a highly pressurized pocket of oxygen. It's pretty problematic sometimes. Some more pip eggs. Okay. Yeah, let's go with the pip eggs. Right. So we've got 3 pip eggs in there, so we'll have a whole herd of pips in no time. I gotta move Ellie over there. Nice. Our little pip is getting groomed. Fabulous. coming up on some idleness. Alright, so we've successfully built a little reservoir here. We should be able to drain the water out fairly easily. There is one small issue of this highly concentrated polluted oxygen here, so that's going to be a problem for us. We're going to need to have oxidizers, or those deodorizers or whatever to clean that all up. So we'll have to run a power line up. It's fine. So we'll build several of these deodorizers just to deal with the inevitable surge of gas that we're going to have. And we'll need them anyways. Once we put that polluted water in there, it's going to start producing oxygen, so might as well just get it over with. I think we'll be okay on sand, just in case. Harvest this remaining sand. And now that we're sort of preparing for this liquid trap, it also might be thoughtful to just, hey, let's just bypass this for now and shoot straight up over here. That's an option, because we want to make sure that we can deal with this steam vent in a way that's going to make everybody happy. Okay. Fabulous. Our little tank is ready to just get this liquid out of there. Trying to think about how we want to deal with this cool steam vent. I just might want to just cap it and then depressurize it later. So I may want to just shoot a quick line up there. Not necessarily worry about all this high pressure stuff. It's going to take a while to deplete the pressure of this. And this is like, it's like almost 20 kilograms. It's like, tons of tiles worth of air, and these are already pretty highly pressurized with oxygen. So it's probably better to figure out an alternative path for this. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do that. I do need a place to store slime though, so I can't cut them willy-nilly just yet. Way too long for them to get down. So I might need to build a little something to hold my slime. Something real quick. Maybe something right here. This might be a good option. So we'll put a tile there and a bottle emptier here. Yeah, that'll work. We'll just prevent from cutting into the slime just yet. We want to have a nice spot to store that slime, so we'll use that little spot there to do the work. It's about here where we're noticing, oh geez, they have to climb a long way to get the materials we need. Okay, so start working on providing storage bins closer to the project zone. rock in here and some granite. Let's go with salt water. That's kind of a favorite. Set this to slime. Fabulous. So we can safely store the slime in this little storage bin here, and we can resume the project to dig upwards without delay. The sooner we can put a cap on that steam vent, the sooner we can move on with our lives with the least disruption possible. It's kind of nice that this water is a cool temperature. It's not too hot, but this thing produces such high temperature water. It's really useful, but at the same time also just a pain to deal with early game and mid game. It's time to start thinking about sliding down quickly. Um, oh man, there's a lot of carbon dioxide down here. Starting to think maybe we want to get more aggressive with our carbon dioxide process. So we might tweak the circuitry a little bit here. Um, Fortunately, still haven't been able to dig down. And I haven't even made any progress on my slug farm. Wouldn't that be nice? But we've got time to work on that. Yeah, we might want to go that route. We might want to seal this a little bit better and start pumping some of this gas over to there. Yeah, I think that will go ahead and go in that direction. So I want to move this carbon dioxide over here and turn it into water. Just get rid of it. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly build a pump to transmit the carbon dioxide out. And into this zone here. I'm going to kind of make this a real manual process, because this is not going to really take too long. So with that in mind, I will do the whole cycle sensor. It'll give me control over when that thing turns on and off. Let's make this project happen. Making our way up. So we're pumping out that carbon dioxide out of this chamber, just getting rid of it basically. Chucking it over here, it'll get reprocessed into water. We're starting to see a little trickle of oxygen happen too as that gas really gets eliminated from the zone. And we'll just turn it off. That was exactly what we wanted to do, is just eliminate that thing. Uh-oh. Whoops. I'm not sure what happened there, but that was a little bit weird. Um, uh, Probably time to stop the video in case another glitch happens. So, continue working towards our goals. Um, Getting up, getting down. We'll get there. Already kind of made a little progress in a couple of these areas, and made good use of our ventilation system to try and do it. So we'll keep exploring and try and solve some of these problems and breach our way up to the surface next time. Thanks for watching, and I hope you and your cat have enjoyed it, if you have a cat, that is. We'll be seeing you.